Hi, third grade, it's Mrs. Feathers. I will be doing your weekly grammar videos, so I would like to do a little introduction as to what those will look like. Every week you will have a grammar video posted to Google Classroom. I will be going over your 4 grammar practice pages with you, as well as going over what the skill or strategy is for that week. When I go over the pages and directions with you, I will also do an example or two from each page so that you can follow along and make sure that you are on track. I just wanted to note that when I am making these videos, I am in my classroom by myself, which is why I don't have a mask or a shield on. Third grade, your first grammar pages are pages 1 through 4 in your grammar practice book. And this week we are going to be focusing on a few things: sentences, sentence fragments, and different types of sentences. On page 1, the box at the top explains to us a little bit about sentences and sentence fragments. The first bullet tells us that a sentence is a group of words that shows a complete thought. A sentence fragment is a group of words that does not show a complete thought. Sometimes I think of these as Tarzan and Jane talk. So in the movie Tarzan, at first, Tarzan talks very abruptly and doesn't have complete thoughts. So instead of him saying, "I'm going to the store," he say, "I go store." So I call sentence fragments Tarzan talk. Now Jane talks in very nice full sentences. So hers are sentences or Jane talk. On this page, we're looking at sentences and sentence fragments. I already went over what a sentence is, and a sentence fragment is a word or a group of words that does not show a complete thought. Every sentence begins with a capital letter, and most sentences end in a period, and the period is called end punctuation. The directions on this page say to read each group of words, write yes if the group of words forms a sentence, write no if it does not form a sentence. Let's take a look at number 1 and 2 together. Number 1 says, "I read a book about sea life." This is a complete thought. So on the line, I'm going to write yes. Number 2 says, "The largest mammal." The largest mammal what? This is not a complete thought because I still have a question after this sentence. Number 2 is an example of that Tarzan talk. You will complete this page with the same directions for number 3 through 10. Your next page is number 2. On this page, we're looking at the difference between a statement and a question. A statement, or sometimes we call it a declarative sentence, tells us something. It ends in a period. It would be a sentence like, "Mrs. Feathers likes pizza," or "I am going to Target." It's just telling somebody something. A question, or sometimes we call that an interrogative sentence, asks something and it ends in a question mark. So, "Do you like cats or dogs?" "Where's your backpack?" Those are both questions that end with a question mark. The directions on this page say to write a statement if the sentence tells something, write question if it asks something, and put the correct end mark at the end of the sentence. So these directions are having us do 2 different things. We're going to do number 1, and then we're going to skip to number 3 together. Number 1 says, "We learned about fire safety at school today." This is a statement. It is just telling me something. So I'm going to write statement on the line, and then I can check my box, and a statement ends with a period. So I need to put the correct punctuation at the end of this sentence. You can go back and do number 2, but I would like to look at number 3. Do you check your fire alarms each year? This is asking somebody something. So first, I need to put my question mark. And then I need to write question. Make sure you do both sets of directions for 2 and then 4 through 10. Page 3 is looking at capitalization and punctuation. In the box on this page, it reminds me that we have to begin every sentence with a capital letter. We use a period at the end of a statement, and we use a question mark at the end of a question. The directions on this page say to write each sentence correctly using capital letters and end punctuation. If the group of words does not tell a complete thought, put an X next to it. Then add words to make it a sentence and write it on the line. We'll do an example of a sentence and a sentence fragment together on this page. Let's take a look at number 1. Fall is my favorite time of year. This is a complete sentence, so all I need to do is write it correctly with a capital letter and the end punctuation. I'm going to start with a capital F for fall. This is a statement, so my end punctuation is a period. I'm going to skip over 2 and look at number 3. Number 3 says pumpkins at the pumpkin patch. That is a sentence fragment. So I'm going to put an X next to it to tell myself it's not a complete thought, and I need to fix it. Pumpkins at the pumpkin patch are orange. That is now a complete thought. I started my statement with a capital letter, and I ended my statement with the correct end punctuation, which is a period. You will repeat these directions for number 2, 4, and 5. Your last and final page is page 4. Usually our last grammar page is a proofreading page, and it just kind of ties everything together from the first 3 pages. This box is going to remind me that I need to begin every sentence with a capital letter. A statement is a sentence that tells something and it ends in a period. And a question is a sentence that asks something and it ends in a question mark. For the directions on this page, it says to rewrite the sentences below, fixing any mistakes you might find. Number 1 says, we had a terrible storm last night. This example has 1 mistake. Can you find it? The mistake in this sentence is it does not have a capital letter at the beginning of we. So I need to make it a capital. We had a terrible storm last night. It already had the correct ending punctuation. I'm going to give you a couple of clues for this page. Number 2 says there was a lot of wind and heavy rain. That one has 1 mistake. Number 3 says, did you see the weather report this morning? That one has 2 mistakes. Number 4 says, the reporter said that our town got over 3 inches of rain. That has 1 mistake. And number 5 says, do you think that some streets are flooded? That has 1 mistake. Those are your first set of grammar practice pages. If you have any questions while you're working on them, or you would like us to check them over, please send us pictures and we will be happy to help with anything that we can. Have a wonderful day and I'll see you soon. Bye, third grade.